Ladies and gentlemen, former Transport Minister Ong Tee Kiat has quit MCA. He was a party member for over 30 years and served as its president from 2008 to 2010 before being succeeded by Chua Swee Lek. Despite being the only Selangor MCA MP candidate to survive the 2008 general election, the six-term MP was not reappointed as a candidate in GE13. He was also Transport Minister and had been very vocal on the PKFZ issue. We have him in our studio today. Tan Sri, thank you for joining us. First up, why did you resign?
Well, actually, to me, this is no longer news because I tended in my letter of quitting the party, dated 2nd of January this year. So to me, it is a fresh start without involvement in partisan politics.
For a lot of former leaders especially, it seems to be a very big event when somebody leaves the party, but you have been very silent about it. Why is that?
Well, to me, I'm just an ordinary member now, and I don't think that it is necessary for me to make hue and cry over such a matter, especially when I find that there is no place, no role for me in the present party structure. That's why I call it quit.
But essentially, you seem to have a lot of supporters and they are kind of curious as to why you quit the party. So do you have a specific reason why that happened?
Well, certainly there must be some reasons behind. And my decision, of course, is not without reasons. But again, certain reasons, to me, it may not be appropriate for public consumption. Nonetheless, what I got to say to my supporters, friends from all walks of life, not just within MCA, but also outside the party, to them, of course, I must take this opportunity to say thank you to them. A big thank you to those who had, in one way or another, rendered their support to me during my political career. And also at the same time, I would like to thank those detractors within the party or outside the party now who had in one way or another given me the opportunities to review, sometimes or even to reflect on certain decisions that I made during my days in MCA.
So was your decision made recently? Was it made this year, or was it something you've decided before that?
I had been toying with the idea for quite a while, of course, and I have been observing the situation and the political developments.
Would you say this
within
was
the party? Yeah.
This process of yours start in GE13 or before that or after?
To be precise, that came after GE13.
Okay.
Yeah, GE13, of course, that was in a way a political watershed. And you know very well that I was not given a chance to contest, despite the fact that the people, the constituents in my constituency then, namely Pandan, parliamentary seat, they had voiced their open support for me to contest. But that is already considered water below the bridge. And we know very well that that was a time when I first learned that the party and BN per se, they might think that I was not winnable. That's why I wasn't fielded as a candidate. Yeah.
But for you, what was the final straw for you? What made you to decide finally to quit the party after so many years being a member?
Of course, this was a tough decision to make. And as I said earlier, when I find that there's no longer any role for me, no place for me at all in the party, now certainly, now I have to make a decision. And I see no reason why I need to tag along.
Was there one event that got you to say that, you know what, I'm going to quit MCA?
Well, I would say that when a person harbors certain thought, especially when he finds that his ideals couldn't be met with in the present day structure. Now certainly it is quite natural for him to give a second thought, or rather to reassess the entire situation, whether it is worthwhile or not to stay put in the party.
So as a former president, how do you see MCA currently?
Well, I reserve my comments because at this juncture, whatever things I said, of course, would certainly trigger unnecessary bickering. And I do have my own assessment of the party, of the current politics, or even the scenario lying ahead now. But all in all, now what I wish to say is, now I have no intention whatsoever to create ripples, political ripples.
So if you don't want to speak about the current batch of leaders, maybe you can tell us a bit about when the MCA started to take the turn for the worst.
Well, I think perhaps is more appropriate for us to leave the topic to the people, because people normally, they play good judge whether or not a party is relevant or otherwise, whether or not the present agenda is dear to their heart or otherwise. And to me, I still believe that Malaysians by and large, now our people, in fact, we are yearning for a better tomorrow with confidence, with assurance, and also at the same time, we need to enhance our competitiveness in the present day rat race across the globe. Yeah.
With your experience, would you like to be part of this positive change?
Yeah, certainly. In fact, when I say that I call it quit, I was merely quitting the party. But at the same time, of course, I'm still active in my social life. NGO, for instance, NGOs, especially the charity-based NGOs, the social groups. So far, I never cease participating in all these activities. But all these activities, of course, are quite different from those related to partisan politics.
Does this mean that you're never going back to politics? Or is this just a break until things cool down where you can re-enter politics
Well,
again?
I think this is a common question people want to know, whether or not I just want to take a short break, or am I going to make a comeback or whatnot. But to me, as I said earlier, when I make the decision, a tough decision, to lead a new life, I really mean it. New life without partisan politics. Because as it is now, I could see that the partisan politics really is quite messy at this juncture. Even as a seasoned politician, I would certainly sometimes be bewildered by the present situation.
So would you be, if not directly involved, would you be using your influence to maybe speak to the current political parties, to maybe as a advisor or some other role to get them talking, to move in the right direction maybe?
Is there such a role now? Or is there such a position in any parties? But of course, when I say that I choose not to get involved in partisan politics, it doesn't mean that I'm going to refrain myself from talking politics or observing politics. I mean, that is in my blood, right? I never deny that. But again, it all depends on how we look at it. There are so many different roles that we can play. Sometimes when I say that people may just choose to be political commentator, for instance, right? Or observer. You need not assume the role as political advisor. Then only you can play politics, or you can get yourself involved in politics. I don't think I need that kind of role now, because I have had enough likes and dislikes. Yep, during those days. But of course, that in a way helped enrich my personal experience in life. Yeah.
So if not a political party, would you maybe try to start maybe a social movement to get people talking about certain issues?
Yeah, why not? In fact, social movement, in fact, now there are numerous topics. And I could see that out there are such topics as the new agenda for our young generation, for instance, the new agenda for our social change, things like environment-related issues, green energy, or even economics. And it all depends on which direction we are moving on. And to me, I would certainly be interested in pursuing such issues, or even international relations. All this actually are something that are dear to my heart.
But I'm assuming you're still a figure that's wanted by certain groups. Have any other political parties approached you since?
Well, in fact, in the past few years, there had been several occasions where friends or common friends related to different political parties, they did approach me. But my habit is, now, whatever things that was transpired between me or even others, normally I observe the gentleman decorum. You know, we don't need to spill the beans. We don't need to mudsling one another, even if we don't agree with the other parties, right? Of course, people are free to approach me, especially when I was seen more as an NGO man, or rather less partisan, right? After 2013, certainly I was then in such a liberal position to meet up with anybody. And of course, people talk politics. They explore all sorts of possibilities. Even they try to explore the likelihood that I join the other parties. But to me, I just took it as something academic, because to me, when I don't really have the intention to do so, yeah, nobody could ever force me, right?
But are you open to the idea, if you were approached by a political party, to be a part of them, or if you were offered a seat in the coming elections?
Well, in fact, all this were considered water below the bridge. That was some time ago, but water below the bridge, and I choose not to revisit all this, all these episodes. But I must take this opportunity to clarify on one thing. To me, at that point of time, especially in the run-up to GE 13, way back in 2013, right? There had been several rounds of gossips and rumors, strong rumors, generated by party insiders, speculating that I was going to hop from MCA to opposition. They even gave dates, specific dates. But of course, end of the day, all this were proven otherwise. But to me, I must say that that kind of pre-GE, pre-electoral gossips were simply vicious and groundless. And I choose not to clarify much at the point of time, because we know very well in the run-up to general election, anything goes. And people seem to enjoy the kind of political gossips, if not rumors.
So let's forget about G13, but what about GE14? If somebody approaches you now to possibly take up a seat for the future,
well,
are
in
you
fact,
open to the idea?
Well, in fact, I've been traveling quite a lot, and I spend less time here. So in a way, not much, or rather, not much time for me to spend on the local politics. And I don't think that now people wouldn't want. I don't think that the people would ever want to feel a candidate that has lost touch with the ground, with the current politics. Because when I travel, certainly I'm more interested, I'm more attracted to the international politics, international economics, and I tend to put behind my mind some of these so-called intra-party or inter-party bickering squabbles.
Okay. So there is no place for you currently in Malaysian politics, even if you were offered a seat by a political party?
Well, in fact, it's not that I haven't had such an opportunity to play my role as MP. I did that before, and I still remember from 1989 when I first won the seat, the Ampang Jaya seat, in the by-election in January 1989 until 2013, April. After which, of course, my political career was terminated by my party then, my party top brass, of course with the support of the BN. Well, I think that by itself was a long span of time, and I have had enough opportunities and time to serve the people.
As an observer even, how much would you say Malaysian politics has changed?
Well, in fact, what I can see very clearly is now that the Malaysian politics, by and large, I don't mean to say that I want to make a sweeping statement, but by and large, our politics, be it at the grassroots level or even at the top echelon, we are less value-driven. Those days, of course, we talk about ideals, we really believe in values, we are value-driven. But nowadays, it is more of interest-driven, especially monetary interest-driven. And that by itself is something that really I feel difficult to live with. Now, especially when you know very well that name of the game, after all, is nothing but money. Money, of course, sometimes is not just in monetary term. There might be other pecuniary interests as well.
So you would say self-interest is currently what's bringing Malaysian politics down?
Yes. In fact, that seems to be dominating. But I don't mean to say that all politicians, they are in the same boat, right? But since, that is a trend, and people don't seem to think that, interest-driven politics should be something we treat with disdain, then of course I find that I have no place at all in the present day structure.
If you may, what do you think of the opposition front currently?
My position?
Yeah, what do you think of them like?
My position in the present day structure, or?
I mean, like, what are your thoughts on the opposition? Because you know what BN is, you've been part of it, you've been part of MCA, and now Malaysians have a choice between, you pick what's already been there.
Well, in fact, of course, I must admit the fact that I had been trying very hard to create some changes during my days, especially when I served as the youth chief, later on vice president, and ultimately president of the party. I had been trying very hard in one way or another, and I had been attempting to bring in some kind of a paradigm shift, right? But unfortunately, I failed. But people may put the blame on my modus operandi. I mean, people, of course, they can pinpoint at 1,001 things when your initiative failed, right? But very seldom had people done their own self-assessment. Now, is it a one-man battle, one-man crusade, or should it be a concerted effort to bring about transformation? And of course, at my hindsight, I must also acknowledge the fact that that when we need to bring about changes or transformation, maybe it is not advisable, or rather not a wise move, to have it on too many fronts at one go.
Okay.
And too short a time. You don't need to do a rush job, because human resistance would always be there.
So currently you feel like there are too many fronts, too many choices, perhaps?
Yeah, and of course, when a person grows older, now you tend to evaluate or to relook at what you had gone through, and also at the same time, you tend to grow wiser.
Okay, Tan Sri, before we go,
Yep.
What are your predictions for GE14?
Well, GE14, I would love to have the answer, because because now that everybody is making all sorts of guessing games, when is it going to be, and what would be the scenario? But I can foresee. I mean, I can feel that the people, as I said earlier, by and large, they are indeed yearning for now some kind of changes. When I say change, of course, I know that certain quarters are getting very sensitive, but to me, change is not just mere change of guards. It's not just a mere change of guards, right? It doesn't mean that when I say change, I'm referring to change of government or change of certain personalities at the helm of the nation, but rather, when I say change, what I mean to say is, now we need to undergo changes in our mindset and also our outlook, or even our structure, our political structures, our kind of, for instance, like party structures on both sides of the divide, right? How are we going to prevent or to preempt now the possible proliferation of money politics in the parties, all right? That is one. And on top of that, of course, the redemarcation of electoral boundaries. This seems to be an endless issue. People talk about gerrymandering. Now, is there any possible way out or not for us to resolve the issue? And there must be some kind of solutions to all of this. This is not something comparable to rocket science or technology, rocket science knowledge, but rather it all depends on our political will and also our determination, and also ways and means. How are we going to skin the cat, as the saying goes?
So with what you've said so far, are you trying to say that BN is going to do worse or better?
I really don't know, because from what I gather so far, because it seems that it varies. I mean, the party, I mean, not just BN, but also the opposition parties. When I say it varies from state to state, or even within the same state, it varies from seat to seat, from constituency to constituency. Because certain areas, of course, people say that, hey, Party A is going to stand a good chance to win, or maybe other areas, they may say otherwise. So now it is indeed quite a perplexing scenario. When I say perplexing scenario, meaning, it's difficult for us to make a guess, how many seats certain Party A or Party B is going to secure. And but what I come across so far is people really, they want to have a better tomorrow of assurance and confidence. And especially when people talk about the cost of living, they talk about the economic hardship now. I think many in the street, or even sometimes middle class and above, they seem to share the same grouses.
Okay, Tan Sri, just before we go, there's speculation online. You have to, I think, it'd be good if you responded to this. It's really insane. They say that once Rafizi is jailed, PKR would offer you a seat to run in Pandan so you can be the Pandan MP again. What do you say to that?
Well, actually, this is no longer new to me, because now people have been speculating that, or even spreading that kind of views, or rather speculations, months ago. And when I was confronted with such a question, especially by Pandan folks, of course, my immediate response was, I just struck it off, because to me, I was then quite focused on what I'm doing, namely my NGO work, as well as my writing agenda, meaning I need to spare some time for my writing, because writing is in my blood as well. Of course, not too many people, they know that I had been a creative writer in Chinese language those days, and now that perhaps it's good time for me to pick it up again, right? After such a long lapse of time that I ceased producing my books.
So that speculation is not coming true?
Well, of course, people, they like to speculate. Nobody could ever stop them.
Okay.
And more so in Pandan, right? And Rafizi, of course, well, he's the incumbent now. He seems to have got into trouble. Yeah. So certainly people are speculating.
I think that's all the time we have. Thank you so much, Tan Sri, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.